Hey guys, it's Dustin. Today is May the 24th. It's a Wednesday. Sorry I haven't posted an update lately. Actually, I think it's been at least a week. I've just been kind of busy. Mostly I just haven't been feeling like doing a YouTube video. I mean, I've been out here taking care of the birds, but I've still got a bad cold, terrible headache and all that, and then I've got something else going on right now, so I just haven't really felt like doing an update. And actually, that's not completely true either. I made 2 updates that I just never got around to putting on YouTube, so fingers crossed, hopefully I get this one on there, but this will probably be a longer one since it's been a little while. So I don't think that this trap, or not the trap, that the look around was on the loft last time I'd updated. But I put the look around on, and it's been about a week. All the birds in here are used to the look around, with the exception of maybe that grizzle and that grizzle. They might not be too familiar with it yet, but all my auction birds have been going up there and everything, so that's good. Really, it's to the point where I could put the bob, which was hanging right here, and is not. I haven't fed the birds yet. They're hungry. You're hungry, aren't you? Yeah, I'll feed them in a minute. I don't know. I'm sure it's down there in the grass. It was hanging right there, though. So, anyways, not too much to share as far as what's going on in here. I could really go ahead and put the bob back on and let them go through it a couple times, and I think I could start flying them and stuff if I wanted to. But I've got 2 more young birds that are probably about to be ready to moved in here. I'm about to start construction on my new flying loft, which will be much larger than this. Actually, it'll be even a little bit larger than my breeding loft. It'll be the same length and height, but it'll be 2 feet wider. So it'll be 2 feet wider than this one, and it'll be a bit nicer. The outside of it is going to be boards with OSB walls on the inside. Should help keep it insulated a lot better. Hopefully I'll get some insulation put in between the 2 walls, keep it from becoming an oven in the summer. But pigeons don't do well in ovens, so try to avoid that. It's been raining a lot. Actually, that's the main reason I didn't do an update yesterday. It's just it did not stop raining. Didn't want to bring my camera out here, and you can see the rain gets in here, and I don't worry about it too much. In the wild, you know, they get wet, they get rained on. It won't stay damp. As soon as the sun comes out, it'll dry out. Even though the sun's not come out, it's a little bit breezy out. It'll start drying. I mean, you can see the wood's not soaked or anything. Even though this has been bearing the blunt of the weather, you can see this outside edge of the board is already dried out. The poop that's in there will dry out and everything. It won't be a big deal. However, it is much bigger deal when you get water in here. And of course, since it's been raining, it is wet here. So, yeah, it'll dry up pretty quickly though. I don't have any pine shavings or anything. It probably won't be too big a deal, but certainly something you want to avoid, because if your birds start getting sick, it's not going to be good. So, let's see what's going on in here. We got this baby roller here, doing fine. Got a nice full crop. It's going to be black spread with some white flights. Nothing much to show. But, Alright guys, so I'm back. Had to take a short intermission from the video, which became a very long intermission. It's about a few hours later now. It's gotten a little darker out, so I've got a light on in here. But I'll continue to update you on the birds in here. So we just went over that one. Remember, it's the egg that was laid with it never hatched. It died. But that baby is doing fine. These guys, their eggs hatched, which it kind of feels like I've already told you about that, and I think I did, but that video never made it onto YouTube. So I'll let y'all see. There's not much to see. I mean, they look like baby pigeons. You stop stepping on it. There we go. There we go. So not much to see. They got short beaks. Their dad's beak is not really all that long, and the mom has a real short one, being a satinette. They've got 2 eggs. So, let's see, they've got 2 of them in there. They're marked down on the calendar. The pair up here that laid these, had these babies, y'all remember I told you that I was not going to be breeding them another time? They had other plans. So, now this actually works out pretty well, because see, I wasn't expecting them to be laying eggs for another couple of weeks. Their babies are really not all that old. I was expecting it to be at least another week or more before they would lay, in which case breeding them would not work out very well. Their babies would be kind of pretty young to be wanting to race this year, and then also because there wouldn't be any other babies their age, I'd be having to try and add them in after I'd already finished breeding out the birds and getting started training and all that. But it's only been a day or 2 since they laid their eggs, so their babies will only be a couple of days apart, which will only be a couple of days behind theirs, which are a few days behind theirs. So unfortunately, still not all right together, but it is close enough that it's actually going to work out just fine. So I'm actually pleased with that. And they've only got 1 egg. Oh, scratch that. They had 1 egg when I came in here to make the video earlier, and y'all may have seen when I came in, if you go back and look closely, there's only 1 egg in the nest. But they just laid the second one. So this egg is probably just a couple of hours old or less. So anyways, let them have that back. I don't mark down on the calendar that eggs are laid until the second one is laid, unless it's been several days. And you can. There's no reason not to. It's just that usually incubation starts with the second egg. So if you mark the 18-day mark from the first egg being laid, you could be a day or 2 off from when they hatch. But anyway, so I guess I'll go ahead and mark that down on the calendar after I finish my video. I say that just because I said it, I'll probably forget, but hopefully not. That's what I need to do. They've got 2 more blue bars, babies there. I just thought about something. These are all the bands I've got left. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left. And that's going to be 2, 4. I only have 5 fingers, but that's going to make 6 right there. And that makes 7 and 8. So I'm going to have to find at least 1 more band. But I'm sure I can find 1 more. I'm sure someone will have one. So then, nothing to report with the white homers. They've not started breeding. Still together, still appear to be a mated pair, but they haven't claimed a nest or anything. But that's fine. I mean, they're still kind of underaged for that. So let me go ahead and restart. I have to do that every so often so my camera doesn't cut off. That one was pretty early. Over here, you can see April's little baby, kind of nodding off to sleep. Long day, I guess. Anyways, we'll walk over here. This pigeon's still not finished molting. It's still got those ugly looking tail feathers right there. You know, what's up with you? Anyways, so this is a bald-headed Andalusian indigo spread cock, right there, paired to that probably homozygous grizzle bald-headed hen who's red. And because her being red, this is a sex-linked breeding, and I already know that this pigeon right here is a hen. Unfortunately, it's frayed its tail. It may be able to fix that, but I'm doubtful. Done the same thing right there. That's the thing about white feathers. White feathers are so much harder to keep in good condition. But they've got 2 eggs. This pair right here, the tiger grizzled hen, which is, you know what, where is she? Because I was about to say, they still haven't laid, which I was really surprised. Oh, here she is. Yeah, they still haven't laid. I'm really surprised. I don't know. Hopefully they lay soon. Here's a little bit of green poop. That's not a good sign, but as long as I don't continue to see it, I won't be too worried about it. My satin nets still seem to be doing fine as far as being a pair, but no eggs or anything yet. I still really like that blue check indigo hen right there. It's a roller frill cross. Eventually these guys are going to be, next year will be paired back up to each other. Not nest mates to nest mates, but they'll be paired up. I mean, that's a pair of a nest, siblings. That one and that one are a pair. So, and I know that that's a cock and that's a hen because it's sex-linked breeding. If these two, let's just say this one is a cock and this one's a hen, then that one will be paired to that one and that one to that one. But not necessarily, because I've also got another pair of babies brewing over there, which will be full-blooded siblings to this one and to that one. What, you gonna do something? You look like you want to bite me. Come at me. Nah, I didn't think so. You might, though. Yeah, I thought so. Charles is in here. The reason being is because I'm not feeding the young birds like I was, because I'm, going to be training and everything, needing to fly them. And with Charles trying to grow in an entire tail full of feathers, he basically needs to be able to eat however much he wants. He just needs to have food available to him non-stop, basically. Otherwise, his feathers may not grow correctly. Let's grab him and see how he's doing. I looked at him the other day and saw that they were starting to grow back in, but I'm not sure exactly how well they're growing in at the moment. So, let's see. I'm trying to find a place so I can sit the camera that isn't real dirty. I mean, everything's dirty, but... Alright, let's see. Obviously nothing immediately visible, but if I move the feathers out of the way, I don't know if y'all can see that, but there's a whole bunch of new tail feathers growing. So, let's see. When I looked last time, there was one that still hadn't grown in, but best I can tell, all 12 of them are growing in now. So far, that little experiment, which is actually something I've done before, but so far that little experiment's going pretty well. All those tail feathers that we pulled out because they were broken have started to grow back in. Seem to be doing just fine. The real the real thing to look for is, well, I don't know, just to make sure they all grow out properly. I don't think there will be any problem with it, just as long as he gets plenty of food. So we'll keep up to date on that, though. And then again, I've still got these young rollers. Here's this ash red check. Come here. And it's doing just fine. Well, probably shouldn't have gone in there, but and here's its sibling, this black one. Real nice looking little thing. I like it. Can't wait to see how it does out in how it does rolling and all that. Then I got another one right here. This one's just a blue check. I don't know if y'all can hear the thunder rumbling in the background. Then we got April's baby right here, which I need to name her. And then this one right here. Don't know too much about it. I mean, it's molting. I don't know what gender it is or anything, though. It's full-blooded sibling to this red check right there. And the black one, wherever it went, there it is. And that's their dad there, so... My calendar's not looking so great. I'm going to need to change it soon. It's about to be June. Then under here, we've got... Oh, maybe I forgot to say, their babies have hit the floor now. One of their babies, the blue bar right here, I'm willing to bet that the cock in there was probably fed it. So there it is. Looking at it, I can see it's ready to go out to the young bird loft. Again, I'll show you all how I know that. If we look at the underside of its wing right here, which y'all may not be able to see all that well, but hopefully you can see the little feathers are growing back in. The wing feathers are not completely finished growing, but they're pretty much there. So it and its sibling, now I need to try and figure out where its sibling is. They're ready to be moved out there, so might do that today, but I wonder where the sibling is. The sibling is just a blue check. It's interesting, I'm not seeing it, but it's got to be here. Oh, it's under here too. Sibling is nice and plump, nice big fat baby. Hopefully make a strong racer. And there's its sibling right there. So 2 of them are ready to be moved out there. Coco and Swift, they've still got 2 eggs down there. He's incubating. Hopefully I don't get grizzles this time. I think I'm going to close this up because I can actually feel rain. The rain's being blown in through the window. Come on, guys. Back out. Come on. Come on. Last one. Better not leave that out there. I'll have no idea what I did with it. Gotta close the trap or all the rain will come in through there. There we go. Got my light in here. Keep things lit up for them. A little darker over here. That's fine, it's just a breeding loft. They'll enjoy having some darkness. This poor bird's got a feather stuck to his beak. There we go. It's a really sticky feather. No wonder she was having trouble. Yeah. They're good birds. So, I don't think there's too much more to show y'all than that. I did have some questions to answer though. Reggie, I think it was Reggie WMS. I assume that's probably abbreviation for last name or something. But anyways, you were talking about birds, how many birds you could keep in one place and overcrowding and all that. Oh man, while I'm talking about this, I just noticed how damp that is. That's not good. Somehow water is getting in there. Well, I'll talk about this real quick, just because there are some very notable design flaws in this building that I didn't think about. This plywood, when I put the 2x4s down on the plywood, I had them scooted in a little bit from the edge of the plywood so that when I put this OSB on, the OSB would sit on top of that little lip that the plywood would create. I left like a little half-inch or so to sit the plywood on top of and screw it in, which would normally. I just realized the video cut out. Anyways, so what I did was I set the 2x4s in about a half-inch from the edge of the plywood to leave a little lip there on the outside of the 2x4 to set the OSB on, which is what you would normally do. But what seems to be happening is the rainwater is coming down the outside of the wall, and then it's kind of grabbing the little lip there where it sits on top of the plywood, and then the moisture is being drawn up underneath the edge of the OSB in between it and the plywood, and then it's then soaking my floor. And that's why you'll see the edges around the wall in the corner are damp, but you don't really see water running down the side. Now I do have a little bit of a leak over there, but for the most part it's coming up underneath, and it does it really bad right over here. So I'm really don't like that he built a nest down there. Hopefully I don't run into a problem with it, but we'll see. Anyways, so Reggie, you were asking about how many birds you could keep, and you were told something like eight pigeons in a I don't know, 4 by 6 foot area. I don't remember exactly what you were told. Anyways, you kind of have, and this is mostly my opinion, but you kind of have to take it and look at why you can only have so many pigeons to a certain amount of space, and then figure out from there. This loft is kind of narrow, but it's 7 foot tall. So there's not a ton of floor space. Now there is floor space, but there's not a ton of, not a lot of it. But it's 7 foot tall, and I've got perches coming up here. So I like to factor in, I mean, these are big perches. This isn't just a perch. I mean, this is a nest box they walk around in and use. So I would consider this to be floor space. These are individual floors. They've got a little, little apartment complex right here. So you have to factor the perches into things. Now, you wouldn't want just a really tall loft with not much floor space, because they do spend plenty of time on the floor, and they have a lot of interaction down there. That's where they eat. To some extent, where they drink. I keep 2 waters on the floor, where they chase each other around. Most of their interaction with each other comes down there, happens on the floor. So you certainly want plenty of floor space, but the big thing is cleanliness. Now, if you keep your loft cleaned out really well, and poop does not build up, which I'm kind of have been slacking on, obviously, then you can keep more pigeons in it, as long as you can keep it cleaner. But at the same time, you don't want to cram them in here either. Also, something else to consider, I've got this aviary out here, which I've got closed off for the moment because it's raining, and the rain will get in there. But that's space that they get too, and that's on the outside. Now, if you had a bigger aviary, that would add more space. So if you had a loft this size, but you had an aviary the same size as this, and actually when I build my flying loft, it's going to have an aviary on it that's a little bit larger than the loft itself. So you got to add that in too. I mean, they're going to be sleeping in here, but when they have that much outside space, they're going to spend a lot of time outside too, and that's also somewhere else that their poop is going to go, especially if I have it out there to where it's going into the ground. I'm going to have grass planted and all that, which helps take care of the, break down the poop. So there's a lot of things you have to factor in like that. I mean, obviously you don't want to put more pigeons in a loft than you have perches, and you don't want to just stick a perch on the wall every 2 inches and cram as many pigeons in as possible. Give them a little space, but it's not, I mean, there's a lot of opinion involved in it. The cleaner you can keep your loft, the more pigeons you can have in it, but at the same time, the more work you're going to have to put up with, the more work you're going to have to put into it. So I realize I didn't give you a real answer. I didn't say this is how many pigeons you can have, but and if they're getting to fly too, if they're getting to fly and they're having liberty outside of the loft too, then also they don't have quite as much space requirements, whereas fancy pigeons that aren't usually allowed liberty are going to spend all their time in the loft, and you want to make sure it's even bigger and nicer for them. So I realize that wasn't a real answer, but that's kind of all I can really say. I don't know. I don't have a specific number of pigeons. I've got, I wonder how many I have in here, to be honest. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll include babies. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I already counted those two. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. I feel like somewhere I missed somebody because I feel like I have more than that in here. But, okay, so I've got more than 30 pigeons in here. But I've got 20 nest boxes, and most of these are breeding pairs, so that's 2 pigeons to a box. And if 2 pigeons shared every box, that would be 40 pigeons without any of them walking around on the floor or perching in these or being out here. And I was counting babies too. I mean, they're not doing anything. They're just sitting around being fed. So, I would be comfortable having 40 breeding pairs in here as long as I had, not 40, sorry, 20, that'd be 40 pigeons, but 20 breeding pairs in here, as long as I had somewhere to put the babies afterwards. They couldn't accumulate in here too many, and that's not including this space up here either. That's just these nest boxes right here. There's 20 of them, plus this space right here, and the floor, and the aviary, and I've got 2 box perches up here, and I could add more perches if I wanted to. But again, it's not about how many you can fit in there, because all of those pigeons are depositing poop onto the floor. But as long as I had somewhere to put the babies after they had been weaned for a few days, yeah, I would be comfortable having 20 breeding pairs in here. Of course, I might want to do something about a larger aviary so they can have more space outside of the loft, but there's that. But cleanliness is the biggest issue. But you don't want to overcrowd them either. And it makes a difference. If you have a bunch of breeding pairs and they're all used to each other, there's not going to be very much fighting. These pigeons don't fight very much. They've got established territories. Most of the fighting that they do is with each other's babies. But the babies are not really disrupting the breeding either, so it's not too big of a deal. And they're moved out after they get a little bit older, except for the rollers, which are waiting on that loft to be cleared out. But so that's one thing. And if you had just a lot of young birds, and especially if you had more cocks than hens, then they don't have established territories necessarily. They're going to be chasing each other around. Water just dripped on my ear, and I'm trying to figure out where it came from, because I know my roof doesn't leak, so I'm trying to figure out how water just, I don't know. Sometimes that'll happen, and it's the pigeons in here drinking out of the water. But yeah. Well, guys, sorry that video's been so choppy. My mom is disabled, and I've had to be helping her with some stuff. That's why I've been being interrupted. But now it's late at night. It's dark outside. It's still been raining non-stop. So now my sister's harassing me, because that's what sisters were made for. Like I said, that's what sisters were made for, but to harass us. Anyways, but so now I'm just finishing my vlog in the bathroom. Yeah, that's great and all. But I'm sorry I haven't been posting any videos. I just had a lot going on besides just some personal stuff. I've got exams this week. I've got a terrible cold. I've got a headache, and I never get headaches, but oh well. I've been taking care of the pigeons, doing a lot of stuff with them. I just haven't really been videoing it. This actually is my 3rd attempt at a video here in the past week. I think I will get this one up. I was just in there, just finished studying, checking Facebook, and someone else has already commented on my videos, you know, where you been, Dustin? But I haven't been anywhere. I've been right here, just not very motivated to video. But yeah, hopefully that pretty much answered your question, Reggie. Also, someone asked what they would get breeding I want to say it was a white cock to a blue check hen. It might have been vice versa, blue check cock to white hen, but I think it was the first one. Anyways, I was going to pull the comment up on my phone to look at it so I could say the name, but I couldn't get it to come up. But anyways, you know who you are. Basically, the answer to that, you could get just about anything. It just depends on what the blue check is carrying, and more importantly, what the white bird is carrying. Because that white bird's just going to have some kind of gene that's covering up everything else. So it could be a blue bar, a blue check, possibly a barless, I think. Don't take my word for that one. T-check. Honestly, it could be something spread, so you could get black or a gray bird. There's a lot of, you could have grizzling mixed in there. Could even have tiger grizzling mixed in there. You just never know. That white bird could be anything genetically underneath that one gene masking things. Or, as I've gone over, there's several ways to make white birds, and several ways to make birds that are really light colored. They're easy to call white. All it is the lack of pigment. But yeah, so I can't really help you there. You could get just about anything. You'll just have to do a little experimenting and find out. Whatever it is, though, it's most likely going to have some white splashing on it. Splash is what it's called. Just part of it will be colored, part of it will probably be white splotches on it. And you could even wind up with a completely white baby. But whatever it is, I'm certain you'll get more than one thing. You probably get a lot of different looking birds out of them. So good luck with that. Have fun with it, but I really don't know. You could get just about anything. But I think that's finally the end of my video. Obviously I can't go out there and show you right now, but that dovecote I built, I still haven't got it set up on a post. Not sure when I'll do that. It's been doing fine though. It actually doesn't get all that hot in there even without it. Sorry, I got cold, but even without it being ventilated, it actually doesn't get all that hot. So it looks like it's going to work out pretty well. Yeah, so I think that's basically everything. Some of y'all know I've added in the baby guppies I'm growing out. I'm not going to show them to you right now. They're in my room. It's dark, and for some reason the hood is broken. The light won't come on. So, but they're getting bigger, doing they're healthy. So I think that's everything, guys. Though, and I appreciate that y'all care, that y'all are wanting to know where I've been, what's going on. But that's basically it. Assuming I get this video on there. But thanks for watching, guys. Well, I will mention again, I did start a Facebook page for my YouTube channel. So far it's not been very popular, but I don't, of course it's not, I've not been hardly putting anything on YouTube. I certainly haven't really been working on that on the Facebook page, but it is there. But thanks for watching, guys. I'd say like and subscribe for more videos, but I've been a little bit slow with them recently, but I'll pick it back up here again soon. I'll be flying birds again soon too, so I look forward to that though. And after this week I'll be out for summer break, so that frees up a lot more time too. But thanks for watching, guys. Take care.